I accept the compliment in silence. You're not saying anything. Agathan looks relieved. You leave the bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathan managed to smile. You have no idea what will happen with the notes, but you feel that you have rich an understanding with Agathan. Perhaps that's enough in this world backstabbing and betrayal you now inhabit. Wow, it's already gone. Can't do anything about it. The gift that keeps on giving. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the Grand Terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it out, scan through the crooked lettering. There has been another one. At the scene now, come to Stewie. Corner of Pulaski and Gave, ASAP. As you approach the address, D'Angelo gave you a square passing by sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from the Cobb Avenue into Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and the next four or so police cars parked on the nearest corner. Next to an ambulance confirms that you're in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be New York Finest Convention, looking around in the hope of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his non-spirited lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street. Try not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance of the building looks straight at you. He gives you a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think yourself, as you notice him making his way towards you. Calmly wait for him to approach. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand around doing your best ordinary citizen impressions. The cop walks across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm even as he put his hand on his holster. Shit, you can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly he stops as if instinctively realizing he was just an inch away from a grisly demise. He waves at you, dismissively, and yells in a thick, broken accent. Hey, this is an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relief will try not to show it. You put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past the dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. Yeah, if you try to run there, it would only make you look like a killer. So let's not do that. If the smell of cigarette and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravely voice surely does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around in the first place, but still. Come on, and park around the corner. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan, parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. Fitting opportunity, we can take them. You can take them to the sweat seat. There's only two that we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. I can't handle risky, but this seems downright stupid. You're probably right. Better safe than sorry. Do your shadowy, skulky thing. Hey, how about you do your shadowy, skulky thingy? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside. Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's a good an approach as any, I guess. Without any other word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passed, then another one and another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moldy partner has gotten himself in trouble? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building opposite of the two cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you'll find that a ladder leading to a fire escape has been conveniently dropped for you. woodwork tea. You mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. Writes, his gift, our fate. You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar, compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean in a bit, trying not to make it obvious you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night has been kind to them so far, but the questions kept piling on, and now they have found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pipe answers. Suddenly, he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch or eye? Another piece of gravity. His gift, our fate. Yeah, that's that. What do you think it means? It's about Cain. His gift isn't there a theory that Cain was the first vampire? Oh, it's more than a theory to some. It's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism, our fate. Clearly someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Which is me being right about Thin Hood involvement, I mean. Anyway, it looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. Sure, might as well be prudent. In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent. My thoughts exactly. The Dustborn have it bad as it is. If I'm gonna accuse some of them of breaking the Masquerade, I want solid evidence, and I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I may know someone who will get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes the call. Hey, you know who this is? Yeah, that favor you owe me. Time to deliver it. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The motor's in best Dewey. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Let's stop Kings County. The bleeding heart abruptly. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It is a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that makes up the very essence of a vampire existence, for instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that is closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County Mall. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moody mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It doesn't. At least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadows walks by, you are quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't see how to look back, making sure no one's following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes out a puff and exclaims, seeming lead to no one particular room. 112, you got 20 minutes. The angel speaks without looking at you. That's our cue. You follow the Fang detective through the same door the EMT walked out. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the wide and growing corridors makes it clear this has been here before. Finally, he stops in one of the doors, room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is laid out on a steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face. His features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you are yet to see it. Looking over to D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar motion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Sucked dry, just like the last one. Yeah, I'm guessing you notice the teeth marks as well. He points at the 2 barely visible marks on the victim's neck. Dead giveaway. Fuck. As if uncue, the door swings open. A tired-looking mirrorless stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you yet. Hide behind the freezer. Quietly, you hide behind the oversized freezer, hoping D'Angelo will follow suit. Pressed against the wall, you tense up, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. The room, however, remains silent. You peer out from behind the freezer to assess the situation. The doctor calmly looks over the victim, jots something down in his clipboard and walks out. If you could breathe a sigh of relief, you would. It's so hard. D'Angelo materializes from the shadows lingering against the wall across from you. He gives you a slight nod. It's a nice safe kid. My first instinct was to jump him, but hey, whatever works. Now come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling your yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to arouse suspicions of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mid-seconds, he's out in front in D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I have just about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me, fine. Just leave me, my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. God, it hurts so much. Well, I think I'll just stop recording after this event, or this chapter, whatever. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes back against the lamppost. Are you finished? Right now, you listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I want to joke around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet here that you've made for yourself? Now either you give me a lid I can follow, or I start remembering things you rather forget. For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless. His eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath. You wouldn't dare try me. Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good card. Come on, Larson. Spit it out. No good cop here. I don't want to be a good cop. I don't want to play the good cop. Come on, Larson. Just give us something. It's been a rough night. See? Robert, my assistant here is tired of your shit too. So what is it gonna be? If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightened his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. The angel stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable. We better. Finally, the angel loosened his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's gonna tell the teacher on. You look to your partner, meaning to ask, what was that whole thing you rather forget there was? As if sensing your curiosity, the angel cuts in with a preemptive mutter. Come on, we got what we came for. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You would think it abandoned, if not for the few barely walking lights illuminating its shapely facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. The angel leans over and whispers in your ear. I cover the back door, you stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, the angel disappears into the shadows. Aspects focus your presence. Your sense. You regret it almost instantly. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, or mother curse and drug-induced ramblings. You're almost ready to give it up when a faint whisper catches your attention. A female voice, soft trembling. The gift, it speaks to us. The blood speaks. A few words are enough to tell you you have just hit the jackpot. You follow the voice that shows a young woman hunched in the corner of the room. As you walk towards her, the angel emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. You can tell it's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gruffly timbre, it's not really working out. And it's okay, we're not here to hurt you, just want to talk. No, don't talk. Too loud, too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, whoever's inside stumbling around after one hell of a bender. Alright, you like quiet, got it. Can you tell me your name? Sana. That's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swings open behind you. Even though the nice friendly woman approaches runs down your spine, you look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making an effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of the way, acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity. You walk up to her. She looks as you were something. She just grabbed her shoes. You might nervously without even knowing it. Hello there, and who might you be? As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shuts out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious specimen of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance.
You. Hey, Val. That's my assistant you got there, do you mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a ragdoll. Where is she? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling. Don't play coy, Ginny, the manslayer. I know she's here. A bloodhunt has begun. By the order of the Princess of the Girls to meet her final dead. Hold your horse, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspice of the sheriff. That counts for something too. Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some plate measuring contest. You want this to get ugly, be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job. By all means. You step aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look to the corner when you last saw Sena, but find no trace of the girl. No, I could swear she was just here. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this. Story of my life. Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been, almost. Okay, kid, I know you got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question, make it count. Do you know where the girl went? It's still hard to believe that this girl's our killer. Do you know where she ran off to? Not sure, but I might have some ideas. The most important thing is, we know who we're looking for. Too bad Valerie knows it too. She is a scorched kid, part enforcer, part assassin, all around pain in the ass. You'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we have run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Or kid, I don't know about you, but I'm telling you. I figure some step up, keep looking for a girl. Feel free to swing by the office in the night. And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him though. It really has been a rough night. And I try to complete this Fed and Mid quest as well. Sometimes I'm skeptical too, but if Father Anthony's present, I know fate is real. I know it because it has so much. But perhaps you have questions about fate and our kind. Yes, what we are. Newman. Benjamin Newman. The asshole who made the last few years of your life a living hell. The sexual harassment, the mobbing, the way he kept delegating all his obligations to you without ever letting you reap the fruits of your work, the way he stole your soul. Goddamn prick. You look up at Kadir expecting answers. Apparently your company is in trouble. Lots of financial irregularities, and Mr. Newman is all too happy to testify that the one employee who has just suddenly disappeared is to blame. So story is as fishy as it gets. But your disappearance is being investigated, and a lot of people are searching for you. It attracts attention to us and such. And as such, it must be stopped. We have time for one more. I'm going to go with him again. Strange bedfellows. Knowing there are only so many places with a good enough view of the Manhattan Bridge, you decide to check the ones that aren't likely to be crowded at this time of night. It doesn't take long before you hit the jackpot. James Caruso. As you're walking along the pier, you notice a lonely figure sitting on the bench, still flask in hand. With his legs up on the railing, sitting up, you hear a familiar voice. Evening turned to night, and as the final flickering rays of sunlight gave way to the kind of nocturnal shadows, so did the last of the jabbering tourists give way to a blessed silence. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling. Pausing mid-sentence, he leans back over the bench, backrest, and looks straight at you. Upside down, his face looks even creepier than usual. That I wasn't alone. What is it with you and narrating? Takes the edge off, just like this. It takes a sip, then point the flask in your general direction. Fancy a sip? The warlock who prepared this knows how to add a bit of bite. Fitting opportunity. The angel of flasks. Sure, why not? You smell the contents of the flask and immediately recoil, even if it wasn't for the nasty whiff of cheap booze. The underlying scent of blood on it isn't appetizing at all either. You know what? I pass. You won't hear complaining not about that anymore. There's been another one killing me down by the docks. Same ammo. The blood, the graffiti. Yep, it was our girl, alright. Victim sucked right through the same as before. Another sign of the war. Something about impending doom and oh lord becoming. The particular escapes me. You know, that night I saw her. She looked so frail, so innocent. Deep inside, I was hoping she was spooked. She would be spooked, get out of town. That maybe, just maybe, that would be the end of it. That's me, you know. Hopelessly optimistic. So what's the plan? The plan is, we stop mid-sentence, take a swig of liquid courage. We stop her at any cost. I'd rather it not involve killing the girl, but I'm starting to think that ship has already sailed. Another swig, you're not sure how much of this is genuine, and how much is act, but still, he's starting to worry you a bit. So anyway, I've set up a meeting, neutral ground, public space. Shouldn't get too up me, still, I was hoping you could tag along. Larson? Is it Larson again? Now, let's leave the poor smart alone for now. It's pretty clear he is just as clueless as we are. He looks away and taps the bench next to where he's sitting. You might want to sit for this one. Just fucking tell me already. Who are we meeting? Valerie. That murderous bitch from last time. Likes to choke people out for the fuck of it. Valerie, that Valerie. You ever notice that if you repeat a word enough time, it just starts to sound like animal noise? But yeah, that Valerie. I know you two didn't exactly hit it off, but she is not as bad as you might think. I mean, in some respect, she's probably worse, but she can be reasoned with. Once again, he goes for the flash but stops himself mid-motion. Look, the way I see it, we ain't got a choice. As much as I want to help Sana, she's clearly feel that's not a belfry. More people are gonna die unless we do something about it. I get it, let's have two evils. Either way then, I like your attitude, kid. I know it sucks, but hey, if there's one thing life has taught me, you don't always get what you want. Noticeably proud of his words of wisdom, he tried to stop them off with one last sweep. A single drop falls between his crooked teeth. He looks at the empty flask with the utmost contempt. Well, in that fucking poignant. Muttering a curse under his breath, he makes a valiant effort to get up off the bench. As he staggers, struggling to remain upright, you offer your shoulder to lean on. He shoots you a smile as it is affectionate. Hey kid, maybe this guy is trying to look friendly rather than condescending. You're alright. And with that heartfelt moment, you bid adieu to the sprawling vista and make your way towards the bridge. Next stop, Manhattan. Entering the park from Midtown Manhattan, you promptly take a spot by one of the alleys, not very deep into the park. Minutes pass, 5, 10, 15. You start to wonder if she's ever gonna show up. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice, but an unfamiliar tone. She sounds almost nice. Hello, Ginny. And there she is, walking along the side of the fountain. She looks less out of place here than back at that junkie-infested hovel, but only by a slight margin. Something tells you that there's so many places you wouldn't feel at home, and probably not ones you would want to find yourself in. Foul. She glanced over you, barely noting your presence. Sorry about last time, nothing personal. You understand. When I get caught up in the moment, I can get a bit intense. I can attest to that. Get a room, you two. Can you two just get a room because the sexual tension is just unbearable? The angel gives you a pleading look, and Claire doesn't want you to dwell on the subject. You hear that, Ginny? Your friend has us all figured out. She takes a step towards you. The smell of perfume is overpowering. Or maybe it's just jealousy. Although I'd be careful if I were you. Last time we got close, it didn't exactly work out for you. Speaking of which, how's that Nick doing? It's fine. I barely felt it anyway. She can tell you're lying. You can tell she's enjoying herself. I'm so glad. Now let's get down to business. We have a proposition for you. Does the pub speak for you, Ginny? Because I'm getting a weird sorcerer apprentice vibe right now. Give the kid a break, Val. We'll hear about Senna, the thin blood you're after. Because of the threat, we need to find her. Figure we can do it faster if we work together. Keep going, honey, because I have a feeling there's a catch coming. Catch is... Oh, what's that? It's not often you see him at a loss for words. Seeing him struggle, you decide to jump in. Don't be a murderous bitch. You have to not be a murderous bitch for like a day or two. See, now that's the deal breaker right there, sugar. If you want me to even consider it, you have to sweeten the pot. Once again, she turns to D'Angelo. And I bet tall, and handsome over here might have some ideas. I don't like where this is going. Don't get too excited, kid. She wants a higher profile tag to show off to the prince. What a good little scourge she is. That's all you care about nowadays, huh? Playing the game. Climbing the ranks. A smile creeps up on her lips. You can tell it's forced. D'Angelo definitely knows how to get under her skin. That's my Ginny. The big old brain and the heart to match. Once again, she turns to you. Any right away she will try to help this guy. He just loves himself a damsel in distress. But you, I'm still not sure what your angle is. It's the right thing to do. I don't have an angle. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Oh wow, seriously? Jenny, you got yourself a live one. Good for you. So that you know my terms. Contact me when you have made up your mind. Don't take too long though. I'm a lucky girl. I might just find your little thin blood on my own. Still, I hope we can work together. We did make a good team back in the day, didn't we? Slowly, seductively, she puts her arms on his shoulders. She glanced over. You're clearly enjoying how awkward it makes you feel. Okay, now it's just getting creepy. Can we get back to you wanting to rip my head off? Because that was actually way less uncomfortable. Careful what you wish for. Anyway, withdrawing from the strange half-embrace, she flicks the angel nose gently with her index finger almost instantly. She turns from flirtatious to dispassionate. However this plays out, I have a feeling we'll meet again, sooner than later. Until then. Without sparing you another glance, she disappeared down an unlit path alley. The angel watched her go. The look on his face, a mixture of longing and guilt, is borderline comical. Finally, he turns back towards you, as if breaking some spell he was under. Now, that would have gone a lot worse. What you and her think? Okay, I have to ask it. You and her ever? Nope, not going there. Val and I, we got some history. Some of it good, some of it bad. Let's leave it at that. And kid, don't be fooled. Val likes to play around, but she will rip your fucking guts out and stuff them up your ass if it means she can get what she wants. And right now, she wants me to give her a lesson. How is he involved? He doesn't. Not directly. It's just that he might have some less than admirable chapter in his biography. He might have done some pretty egregious shit. Whoa. And further knows a certain handsome someone might have evidence of said shit, which would allow her to bring him down. And bringing down a primogen, even as slim as Larson, is a pretty big deal. He squints, rubbing the brush up his nose. Fuck it, I'm heading back to the office. Need to get my feet up, get some blood flowing to the old knocking. You coming? You're not? Why the hell not? And so you make your way towards 5th Avenue. You've got a long way ahead of you and a lot of stuff to figure out. Although it's not your first visit, you still find it hard to navigate the dark, rust-ridden corners of the grain terminal. Luckily this time, you're with someone who could probably do this blindfold, so just follow his lead. As you both climbing the rickety stairs leading to the mezzanine, you suddenly notice the light coming from the angel's office. Quickly assure that you know he did not in fact leave it on. You burst through the door like undead tango and hope. Or was that Turner and Cash? Ready to unleash unholy fury on the intruders. You half expect an Anarch death squad on an SI hunting party. Instead, you get Larson, who nearly falls out of the chair when you two burst in. What are you doing here? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm waiting for you two bozos to show up. Seemingly both intrigued and irritated by the surprise visit, D'Angelo walks over to the cabinet and pulls out a fresh cigarette. And now that the clowns have arrived, that's his highness mind telling us what brings him to our Marion Circus 10. Her. He points at the tiny shadow cowering in the corner of the room. To your astonishment, it turns out to be a very familiar face. The blood, no, not again, please. Where did you find her? Where the hell did you find her? Outside my front door. She must have heard of me. Found out where I live. It's not uncommon knowledge among the Dustborn. She probably figured I could help, but honestly I have no idea what to do with her. I mean, I should turn her to the prince, but that's just another strike against my people. Then again, I can't just set her loose. Not after what she did. Fuck, D'Angelo. You can tell I'm desperate if my first instinct was to come to you. No, listen. I would actually with that decision to what's left of your common sense. Leans over to you. Hey kid, I think we should call it a night. Just give me some time to talk to the girl. Maybe I get through to her somehow. The sign is always there. Though I ain't holding my breath. Honestly, you're glad to live into it. Spending the night in a small room with a tiny serial killer somehow doesn't seem too appealing. Still, you're hoping D'Angelo will be alright. He's got some tough choice ahead of him. You're fine if you found yourself on the crossroad. Okay. Okay, so you're back to put your name and strive into the heart of the real culprit. By now, you should know how to cast fear among the living, don't you? The documents don't exist, but it'd be a shame if someone went there, wiped the floor with the man, found proof that he's pilfered the funds and forced him to admit his crimes. He turns off the engine and relaxes comfortably in his seat. You silently leave the car and head straight for Newman's office. The elevator ride up just doesn't want to end. After what felt like 5 hours, but in reality was closer to 30 seconds, you finally reach your floor. Your ex-boss is sitting in his office just like Cardi is saying. How should I describe it? As if he had just googled the body language of alpha males and attempted to photocopy the most cartoonish posture in order to intimidate the blackmailer. Out of habit, you take a deep breath as you step inside his office. Midori? He immediately relaxes, just Midori. His eyes say as a slight grin appears beneath them. Forgot to ask for a vacation. People were already, not to mention overworked the hand back, then overworked some more. Someone had to take over your responsibilities. And guess what? Just as we start digging into your work, some unexpected financial irregularities start popping up. You need to work on a common story to explain those, you see. You keep quiet, just stand there. The poet is still thinking he's the predator in this room. Let's see how long it would take for him to realize his mistake. Newman senses your difference somehow. He attempts to step back but fails to withstand your glare. He starts wondering what's going on, quickly arrives at a conclusion. Wait a second. So you're the one who sent me that message? Now that's a laugh. He starts approaching you. Sweetheart, if I'm going down, you're going down with me. You think you would convince anyone you never know that what was going on around here? Fat chance. And even if you did, you know what, friends, they'd never let you live it down. He rests right in front of you, licking his lip, pondering the best way to display his complete physical superiority. You want to give him a chance to. Treat him as a punching bag. Throw him outside the building. Well, you don't want to do that now, do we? Before Newman blinks, you stand in front of him with your arms crossed. After he blinks, your hand is already on his throat. He frees up. He watches you get in his face and slowly brandish your long fangs. A loud, throaty, inhuman growl rings out throughout the office and begins to morph into a violent hiss. For a moment, your ex-boss can't identify the source of the overwhelming sound, or rather, his brain refuses to accept your relatively small body is capable of generating a noise like this. As he begins to understand the process unnatural side of your face, he's gradually overpowered by an animalistic feel which shatters his entire worldview. You were supposed to be a victim. Why are you a threat? Why did reality break? You slowly tighten your grip on his neck, not hard enough to trigger a fire response, but enough to strike a deeper fear in his heart. Kneel. He complies with your demand, squealing softly, a single tear making its way down the stubble on his cheek. Fuck. Obey. I do whatever you want, just don't kill me, please. You got the strength from him, slamming him against his deck. Fuck. A born botcom predator has found his better in the place he is least expected it. You start slowly walking toward him. Stop. I get it. I'll do it. I fucking do it. With shaking hands, he scrambles towards a safe on his shelf. He opens it and takes out some documents inside. This is what you want, right? This is what you want. You rip out the papers from his hands and browse them. This should be enough to, as Cartier would put it, prove his penchant for embezzlement. I clean your fucking name. Tell them somebody else. You twist your hair on his hand. He screams. I did it. I tell them I did it. Next time, I bite into your throat. You walk into the elevator. Press the ground floor button and wave at Newman as the door starts closing. He mumbles something under his nose and winces in pain. Back to Cody's car. Once you close the door, he instantly puts his foot on the gas pedal. I wipe the floor with him and got the documents that should keep him in check, as I will be constantly looking behind his shoulder for the rest of his life. He smiles deviously. Looks like you can take care of business as expected. I don't need to tell you to hang on to these documents, but keep in mind you can use it for more than a security guarantee. We're always looking for more context among the big fish. When you settle in, you can use what you know of Newman to convince others. He is better off as your ghoul. That's enticing thought. I'm surprised at him just suggesting it. The car speeds up to cross an intersection before the light turns red. You give Cody a good hard look. Good job with setting it all up. Visibly proud. If I couldn't handle something this easy, I wouldn't be holding my position. Then he takes on a serious, slightly sorrowful expression. Don't suck it up to me, kid. Mr. Bad Guy is still here. Anyway, let's try to end this real fast. Dead End Blues. As you manage your way up the stairs, you notice that the entrance office is surprisingly quiet. You were half expecting something akin to a scene from The Exorcist, with Santa belching out curse and your companion sprinkling her with, well, whatever it is, vampire used for holy water. What do you witness instead as you open the rest, a picture of serenity? The girl, although still curled up in the corner, is sitting calmly with her eyes fixed on the page of some poppy detective novel. She doesn't even register your presence. Sitting behind his desk, the angel seems to be looking over some files, puffing on his usual brand of cigar, seeing no trace of Larson. You assume he must have gone back to his family. Noticing your presence, the vampire detective leans back in his chair and gives you a tired look. Hey there, kid. Glad you could make it. Any luck with Sanya? Managed to get anything out of her? Same old, mumble. Ominous non sequitur. But I do know one thing. She might not be all there. He pats himself on the forehead in an utterly unnecessary attempt to illustrate the point. But she's not all gone either. I think there's still hope for this girl. Anyway, I've been going over the case files, mulling over our options. Surprise, they all suck, donkey dick. No matter how we go about this, someone gets fucked over. Her, Larson, us. What options do we have? Okay then, lay it on me. What options do we have? Okay, let's polish that turd. Here's how I see it. 1. We grab Sana and take her to the assignment, make a case for her to Prince Pennant. 2. We get Valerie to back up by fitting her the dirt I got on Larson. 3. We try to get Sana out of the city. Come on, kid, I can hear them thoughts bouncing around your head from over there. Out with it. Get her out of the city and then what? Assuming we can get her out of the city, what makes you think she won't kill again? Hey, I'm just gonna let her loose in another state and forget about it. I got some people up north, people I can trust, they might be able to help her. At the very least, keep her safe and make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. What do you have on Larson? What kind of dirt do you have on Larson anyway? Must be some serious shit. Oh, it is. A few years back, the Second Inquisition led a coordinated assault on New York kindred. Operation Lights Out, they call it. Nasty fucking business that was. A lot of good vampires died. Some of them I knew personally. Larson was one of the Inquisition's first targets. But when they got him, we managed to convince them to spare his life. In exchange, he fed them info on a fellow Camarilla. Remember, one Nikki the child. Suffice to say, Nikki didn't make it through the night. Our time is wasting. What do you think we should do? You're letting me decide. What? You're letting me make the call? Look, kid, I've been at it all day, mulling it all over. And what got me in trouble was the splitting headache. I just don't know anymore. All I'm asking for is your honest opinion. Just pick one and make a case. And convince me it's the right thing to do. The least wrong, at least. So one more time. Bring the girl to the other side, trade her life for Larson's. Or sneak her out of town. Which one would you go with? Fuck him. No way is it. Larson has it coming. Let him answer for what he did to his wife and kids. Look, I'll be the first to admit, Larson is no saint, but let's not pretend throwing into the wolves will make us sprout angel wings, alright? There's always collateral damage. Maybe you're right. They shouldn't pay for his sins. Well, Elisime seems reasonable. Bringing her to Elisime seems like the most reasonable thing to do, and the cruelest. Or, at the very least, the most risky if we can't convince Panna to give Susanna a shot because as good as dead. Then let's be convincing. Then we better be extra convincing. So be it. Fuck. Do me a favor, kid. Watch her for a few minutes, okay? I gotta make some arrangements, make a few calls. I'm not going to take a risk of, getting her out of the city and then we have to put our lives on the line there. That is just way too dumb for any of us to try to make. I'm not that stupid. I don't want to risk that. We don't owe her anything. He catch himself look at you with an expression of the phoniest of phony cues, but not like with a phone or anything, because that would make me a naughty boy, which I'm clearly not. He walks out of the office through the frosted windows. You see him instantly go for his clamshell phone. Screw it, does it really make a difference at this point? You turn to the girl who still has her nose in the book. I hope you're ready. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I sure as hell hope you're ready for what's coming. She looks up from the book, her eyes glaze over. Soon, I shall run down your spine. He decides best to leave her to her reading and spend the next few minutes in complete silence. Finally, D'Angelo staggers back into the room. Alright, I call a friend of mine who works in the art hall. She says the prince is rare right now in her private quarters. We just have to figure out a way to get an audience. He walks over to Sen and crouches beside her. Speaking softly, he takes the book out of her hands and gently strokes her head. Hey darling, I need you to listen very carefully. We're gonna go on a little trip, okay? You need to stay quiet and stay close to me. Can you do that? Stay close to D'Angelo. She squints, trying her best to concentrate. D'Angelo. Close enough. Something akin to a smile creeps up on her face. It's as close to happy as you have seen her. Death, not hurt. D'Angelo returns a smile. You're welcome. He turns to you, putting his serious face back on. He nods. Looks like it's go time. The art hall welcomes you with all of its usual weirdness and grotesqueries, masquerading as contemporary art. Right now, however, art is the last thing on your mind. As the three of you make your way through the crowd of usual suspects, D'Angelo gestures towards the lone figure standing in the corner. To your surprise, it turns out to be Sophie. As you approach, she raises an eyebrow, taking an especially long look at Santa. And here I thought nothing in this world could surprise me anymore. Mind telling me what is it that you're doing here? D'Angelo nods courteously. I'm here to see Prince Pennant. I don't suppose you could help us get an audience? I think you're confusing me with Prince Harold. An honest mistake in this lighting. Still, I'm afraid you're out of luck. From what I heard, the prince is not accepting visitors. It's a matter of life and death. Please, it's a matter of utmost importance. I'm sure you would make an exception for someone of your status. Appealing to my vanity, although appreciated, won't work this time. Like I said, the prince doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Suddenly you hear a voice from behind you. It's the last one you could possibly want to hear right now. Maybe I can help. You look over to D'Angelo. He seems frozen in place, not able to move a single muscle. This is bad. Very bad. Keeping things casual, Cardi tips an imaginary head in your general direction. When he looks at Sana, you notice his expression sour, if ever so slightly. Perhaps this is a conversation best had in private, follow me. Before leaving, he nods at Sophie. Lamely, dear. Again, you glance over to D'Angelo, but he doesn't even acknowledge it. He seems to be in a state of deeply internalized panic, not seeing any way out. To get out of the situation, you follow Cardi into a small backstage area. There, he stops and addresses you once more. It's good to see you, D'Angelo. It's been a while since you last showed your face around here, and I see you've brought friends. So, how about we skip the unnecessary drama and you two live without incident? While I take care of our thin blood guests. It's not her fault that she's insane. The girl is mentally ill. You can't hold her responsible for her actions. I'm not holding her responsible for anything. She's her problem. It's my job to solve problems. It doesn't have to be this way. Just let us talk to Panhard. That is Prince Panhard to you, D'Angelo. No, your harebrained scheme isn't gonna work. What exactly did you think was going to happen? You bring the dustborn with a bloodhound on her head to my doorstep and what? Hope that the prince stays my cruel hand. Honestly, I thought you were smarter than that. But I promise to make it quick, painless. That is as much as you will get, so don't push it. And with that, he turns to Sena. His expression grows softer, almost kind. He then grabs her by the hand gently. There's not even an inkling of violence in his demeanor. Come, my child. You have been very brave. The pain is almost over. Pain over. With blissful ignorance, she looks at you and D'Angelo as the sheriff walks her out of the room. Your companion looks broken, as if something inside him just snapped. Without even looking at you, he utters under his breath, I kill her. We kill her. If anything, it's we. Kid, I know you're trying to make me feel better, but it's not really working. I really thought I could save her. Not really knowing what to say, you raise your hand to pat him on the back. You stop yourself in mid-motion. Somehow it doesn't seem like the right thing to do. You leave the art gallery and head back to Red Hook. On your way, you keep thinking about Sana and whether now's the exact moment Cardia brings her final death. It's not a pleasant journey.